Etsy is going to be the future of e-commerce based on what the CEO just said. He has made a change to Etsy that you need to understand in order to be successful on the Etsy now and Etsy to come. Hi guys, my name is Vlad. I'm the owner of TagPop, and he's the #1 pet product store on Etsy in terms of daily sales. You can check with eRank. I'm also #1 and #2 on Amazon Handmade, and the keywords handmade dog collar. So I know a thing or two about selling on Etsy. So on this channel, this is where I help you guys to scale your Etsy business, to properly understand the market, properly understand what Etsy is doing so that you can properly scale and create a sustainable handmade business. So the CEO of Etsy just said something very profound that a lot of people are not talking about, and it is going to be the heart of Etsy that you need to understand. By the way, at the end of this video, I'm going to give you 5 things you need to do in order to adapt properly in the changes that are here and are coming. One of the things that he said during this interview has really caught my attention. He said Etsy's not about handmade, it's about special. Now, some of you might get upset with that phrase, but you shouldn't. He's not talking about now buy your stuff from China and resell it on Etsy. No, he's saying special. It should be the direction of your handmade product, right? The only way to make it special is if you have full control of the production or the manufacturing, when we're talking in a technical term. But it's about taking that handmade skill that you have and infusing your creativity to make your product unique, more unique than your competitors. And this is very important for the Etsy that they're trying to build. Now, fundamentally, Etsy, and we all know this, is an AI. It has the ability to understand the customer or the seller, and it's able to connect those two together, right? It's trying to get better at doing that. And one of the things that he said in the interview that's also very interesting is understanding taste and style is no longer a human factor, or it's no longer the human ability. He's saying that the AI that Etsy is working on has the ability to predict what style you like. He said that even when you're buying a coaster, it has the ability to understand what kind of coaster would work best in your house setup. Now, it knows that by collecting data. Data such as your previous searches or your previous purchases. If you bought certain kind of couch pillows, if you bought certain kind of wall hangings, or it has indexed other customers that look exactly like you in their taste and style, maybe their clothes, the kind of they wear, their age. All of this information it collects and makes the assumption that you might like this particular coaster. Now, the Etsy doesn't only get one shot at this. It's not just one product that they give you. They give you many different products and many different time points at which you're searching the Etsy. So it has more and more to be able to present in front of you. And based on your clicks, conversion rates, or the amount of time you spend on a particular given listing, it collects more and more and gets more and more accurate on what you're actually interested in. So that ability is very, very crucial in what the internet is doing. Look at YouTube. Your feed is based on what you've watched, what you liked. Look at TikTok. Now, the only difference with Etsy amongst other marketplaces that I believe is going to set Etsy apart is the fact that Etsy has many different variations of products. And the way that it was able to achieve that is by reducing the barrier of entry of regular people starting to sell products and goods on Etsy. Right? When you're selling on Amazon or on Walmart, there are product numbers that you gotta have. You gotta talk to manufacturers. There's certain things that you have to go through in order to bring one product to the market. Whereas Etsy, you can go to Joann's right now, buy some fabric, and start selling it today. That frictionless approach to creating an actual physical good allows Etsy to have a massive variations of different types of products. And also because the sellers, they don't have to make large bulks. They can make a little bit at a time, and they can create different variations of that one product. And that gives Etsy the larger amount of data, larger amount of inventory to play around with, to satisfy each customer that comes onto the platform in a unique and special way. Now, in order for this whole model to work, we need to see how well does Etsy do 2 things: bring on more sellers and bring on more customers. Now, the way they're bringing on the sellers, and I kind of mentioned this, is that they're bringing down the barrier of entry. More people can enter and become a seller, can make goods. And 2, more people can make more goods. They can make different variations because they have the control of the production. Etsy is kind of what YouTube is compared to cable, right? In cable, only a few production companies could post or publish their videos and movies and TV shows. On YouTube, anybody can post. And that's why YouTube is dominating cable. Cable is going to be extinct here pretty soon. And Etsy is doing that similar thing with product. And that allows more people to sell more variations. That gives Etsy a plethora of data, a plethora of products to present to the customers that are coming in. It's not only restricted by one product. And that's why for those that have been on Etsy for a long time, you've seen on some of your products that used to sell really well are starting to tank down. Well, because Etsy says, you know, you used to be one of the few people that sold this. Now I have like 10,000 of the same products in different variations that I can properly target each customer in their unique way. Right? The second one, how is it bringing on customers? Recently, people have been really upset with the whole fees, increase in fees. Etsy is spending $600 million this year on marketing. Just to put that in perspective, eBay spends a little over $500 million on marketing, and it has almost twice the amount of traffic than Etsy does. So Etsy is really pushing the ticket to get as much people onto the platform as possible. Now, Etsy has grown significantly. Josh Silverman said that it used to be, their model used to be Etsy sells products that customers would buy when they couldn't find it anywhere else. But now, Etsy is the starting point for a lot of the customers. They come to Etsy as the first place, not after they looked everywhere else, they come to Etsy. It's now turning around. And for a lot of customers, it's doing that. It's growing significantly, especially after the COVID. There's a lot more accounts made. So what do you need to do in order to really position yourself appropriately? There are 5 things that you can do. First is you have to make the product yourself. I would recommend that you figure out your own production, because the ability to make the product yourself, it allows you to increase your variation. And remember, we want to increase variation. It allows you to be more creative with your product. So number 2 is increase your variations. Don't be just stuck on a few listings. If you're an old timer, some of your products are no longer selling well. That's why you got to increase your variations or increase the product types. If you have a certain set of skills, if you are a woodworker, start doing other products. Express your creativity in other products. Number 3 is have a listing that is full of descriptive terms of what your product looks like, the textures, the style, research all the possible keywords that your product can be used for. If it's a gift or if it's a very, very important thing for an important event. Number 4, have clear photography. I would recommend have as much white as possible. My theory in this one is that the AI has a better chance of recognizing what your product is. But when there's a lot of details in the photos, it makes it a little bit more difficult. It's kind of like, when that security question where it's like find the bridges and there's like 3 photos that have the bridge. If you're selling a product and the AI cannot understand, and that exists because it kind of throws off the AI, so it's kind of a human verification process. You don't want your listing photo to be a human verification type of photo. You want to make sure that it's clear and concise on what the product is. Number 5, and this is the most important, don't stop being creative. It is your creativity that sets you apart all your competitors. The less likely you need to scale on the first page of Etsy. In fact, the first page of Etsy no longer exists. But the more customers we get to sign up onto Etsy, the more likely your product, your unique product, will connect just the right way with somebody else. Now, of course, it's very important that you properly SEO your listing, properly index your listing, and that I talk about in this video.